Hello, silly little guy. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Just want to make sure my CPU usage isn't too high. My duh. Everything's computer. I love Tesla. Everything's tariffs. Everything's tariffs. I love Tesla. Take that, liberals. Crashes the economy. Take that, Marxist-Leninists. Destroys global hegemony. Take that, communists. Fucking demolishes our nation. When will you build a new PC? Brother, I don't know how to fucking read an email properly. If it isn't the greatest Trump and Elon hater, that is me. I can actually proudly say that I'm not sure if I know anybody who hates Trump and Elon more than me. Because now I've had people show up at the door. Bitch, I exist. I guarantee you. Bro, I'm not allowed at the White House. Do you understand that? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not even somewhat fucking kidding. Do you understand that? Emphasis on greatest. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's see how the stock market's doing, because I have not checked yet. Yeah, sorry about this. Mr. Krabs, the Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting our oppression. So let's just see how, I don't know, let's start with the Dow. Give me the Dow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Negative 2,231 points in one fucking day. That's insane. I hope you guys understand, this is not like the 2008 recession. This is like the 1929 depression. April 3rd was very similar to Black Tuesday. This is something that will take genuinely years for the United States to recover from. So there's the Dow. Let's see the S&P. Sweet fucking Jesus Christ. Dude, this is crazy. Like, I knew Trump was going to crash the economy, but, like, look at this. Look at this. I knew Trump was going to crash the economy, but I didn't know that, like, he would actually do it overnight. I didn't know that he would do it over fucking night. April, look at it. It's going bad. It's going pretty bad, but, you know, it ain't too bad. And then he gives his speech, and then BANG! First time seeing the numbers today? Yeah, bro. Holy shit. Are there any MAGA haters in the chat? Is there any MAGA hate watchers here yet? Because you guys usually roll in around now, right? Do I have low CPU usage? I think I do. Chris, what gives you hope? Coffee, nicotine, and marijuana. All right, so that's the NASDAQ. I'm just going to pull these up because I am going to make a quick video. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P. I already know I've got terrible fucking CPU. I've got a terrible piece of shit fucking computer. A horrible, horrible piece of shit computer. Skipped frames. Drastic. I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to do about this. You see this? Fucking pisses me off, man. Et nome di caffeine, et nicotine, et holy marigino. Dio dammi sedere di citare le cose che non posso capire, le cose di capire, le cose che posso essere chieste di capire delle differenza. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Do you have multiple programs running for your recording, or is it all in one? No, this is all in one. I got it going on fucking Streamlabs. The problem is that I have a very, very weak computer, and it's hard to run everything all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? 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 Sorry. I don't know what's come over me. Ridiculous. Okay. Cheer yourself up with checking on the Tesla stock? Yeah, we haven't seen the Tesla stock. Let's see the Tesla stock. Shit. Shit. Get fucked, my boy. Get fucking steamrolled, my boy. Are you a U.S. researcher who is considering leaving the country following the disruptions to science prompted by the Trump administration? Yes. Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. All right. Let's make a video. I'll make it short and sweet. All right? Short and sweet. How are my frames? That'll do. What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the latest episode of the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. And, I mean, listen, this is going to be a short and sweet video for you today. The economy's crashing. It's still going, and it's day 2. Trump coined it Liberation Day, therefore I'm calling it L Day, because we all took the fucking L, and just like D-Day, this is L Day plus 2. And we're going to cover just a little bit of the stock market collapsing. We're going to talk about this recent poll. 75% of polled scientists, postgraduate scientists, say that they are considering leaving the United States due to Trump's assault on, and what is it called? DNR? R&D, sorry, research and development, DNR. But before we get started, I want to remind you guys a couple of things. We film these videos live. We've got high CPU usage. Jesus Christ. We film these videos live. We're live right now. Hi, chat. And if you want to make sure that you're here for those videos when they're live, you got to make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. It helps me out immensely, and it costs you absolutely fucking nothing. If you do want to help the channel out financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You can become a patron on Patreon, and you'll get access to the Patreon-only videos, which I just finished recording one with Avi, my manager, and we're going to post that up tonight. You can also become a member here on YouTube. You can buy some of this dope-ass Valenti Videos merch, and you can use the 40% off discount on Ground News down below. Regardless, let's just do a quick jump into the fucking news of the day. So, what do we got here? This is the NASDAQ here. So, the NASDAQ, at the end of the day, the market has closed. I'm filming this at 5:37 p.m. on April 4th, 2025. The market has closed, and as of 5:15, the NASDAQ is down 5.82%. The Dow is down 5.5%, and the S&P is down 5.97%. Now, of course, there are many other tradable things that are crashing, including one of my favorite ones, Tesla. Take a quick look at Tesla's stock. Dropped 10% today. 10.42%. Now, if you have a phone on you, if you have an Apple, you probably have access to the Stocks app. All you got to do is whip up that Stocks app and click it and open it up, and you'll see everything's in the fucking red. I mean, look, on the right side of the screen, we got other fucking companies. NVIDIA, BYD, Amazon, Hyundai. Absolutely everything is going down. And it's to the point where if you watched my last video, Trump's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, sorry, we're losing frames again. Let it slow down. Trump's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, or Bessent, whatever, he's on the fucking news begging world leaders to take a deep breath. That's a direct quote. Take a deep breath and to not retaliate to these insane tariffs, because he understands that if they retaliate, Trump will have a fucking temper tantrum, and we won't move into a trade war. We're going to move into a trade holocaust. Like some fucking insane, like the most insane trade. This isn't the recession of 2008. This is the Great Depression of 1929. This is like Black fucking Tuesday, all right? Things are so much worse than I could properly verbalize, and I've tried my best to get people to understand it, but seemingly, like I've said many a time, between 20 and 35% of the fucking nation is in a goddamn fascist cult. There's absolutely nothing that Donald Trump can say or do that will make them jump ship on the Trump campaign. So something that I mentioned in the beginning of this that I want to cover is this here. This is a article from nature.com. Now, I'm not saying that this is, like, we know polling is not representative of everybody, but polls do fucking matter. Now, this says 75% of U.S. scientists who consider leaving, but it's important to note here, 75% of scientists who answered the Nature poll consider leaving. So long story short, here's what it is. More than 1,600 readers answered our poll. Many said they were looking for jobs in Europe and Canada. Long story is this. Here was the question they were asked. Are you a U.S. researcher who is considering leaving the country following the disruptions to science prompted by the Trump administration? Of the 1,600 people, 1,600 people who responded, 75% of them said yes. Now, I don't think you can properly understand how detrimental this is to a society. Okay, this is what happened in Germany during the late 30s and early 40s, which is scientists started to flee Germany out of fear of persecution because the Germans believed in this fucking crackpot bullshit about like Jewish science, which is just fucking insane. Science is science. But they wouldn't respect any sort of scientific theory that was developed by Jewish people, right? It's one of the main reasons why Einstein left Germany and came over here. But if we have scientists leaving this nation rapidly because they're afraid of, like, getting in trouble for, fucking, I don't know, proving something about abortions. They're afraid to study anything that has to do with race theory, anything like that. If scientists start to leave the nation en masse, that is a sign of a regressive society, okay? The only way to be innovative, the only way to progress as a society is to have a full, comprehensive grasp and understanding that science is science. It's not liberal science. It's not leftist science. It's not right-wing science. It is simply just science. And that's something that we're already starting to lose in this nation. So let's read a little bit of this. Decision to leave. Nature asked readers whether these changes were causing them to consider leaving the United States. Responses were solicited earlier this month on the journal's website. Many respondents were looking to move to countries where they already had collaborators, friends, family, or familiarity with the language. Quote, anywhere that supports science, wrote one respondent. Some who had moved to the United States for work planned to return to their country of origin. But many more scientists had not planned on relocating until Trump began gutting funding and firing researchers. Quote, this is my home. I really love my country, says a graduate student at a top U.S. university who works in plant genomics, and agriculture. Quote, but a lot of my mentors have been telling me to get out right now. This student lost her research support and her stipend when the Trump administration shut down funding for the U.S. Agency for International Development. Her advisor found emergency funds to support her in the short term, but she is scrambling to apply for teaching assistant positions, now extremely competitive, to carry her through the rest of her program. She had already been considering doing a postdoctoral fellowship abroad because of her interest in international agriculture. Losing her funding and watching some of her colleagues get fired solidified that into a plan of action. Quote, seeing all of the work stopped is heartbreaking, she says. Quote, I've been looking very diligently for opportunities in Europe, Australia, and Mexico. So, listen, I don't understand how MAGA can see the economy collapsing, scientists and researchers fleeing the nation. I mean, even GOP representatives are begging Trump to slow this down. We've unironically unified the Asian world. China, Japan, and Korea put together some fucking comprehensive tariff plan united like that. Like, it's not like they have some military alliance, but we did the unthinkable. We got the Asian nations to unite. Because out of spite of Donald fucking Trump. I don't know what the future will hold, but I do know that everything's computer. No, but on a real note, I don't know what the rest of the Trump regime is going to look like, but I do know that they can't possibly continue this course for long. Trump hasn't even been the president for 100 days, and he's already crashed the economy in one day, worse than it had been in the past 5 years. He is unironically destroying American dominance. Like, he's destroying American dominance, American hegemony worldwide. He's demolishing it. But that's all I got for you. I know, short, very short video. So make sure, to the people who are watching this live, you stay. We're not ending the live stream. But to the people who are watching this recording, again, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to help the channel financially, because this is independent media. We have no funding. We have no advertisers. I've never had a conversation with a billionaire or a foreign government. All you got to do is buy some merch down below. You could become a patron. You could become a member here, and you could use the 40% off discount on Ground News. Bye. Catch you later. All right. Done with that. Groceries, what a nice old-fashioned word. You don't hear it anymore because no one can afford to eat. They used to take a bag and they'd put things in the bag. They'd get a fucking jar of milk and they'd say, wow, look at this milk, so raw, so white, so clean. They'd put it in the bag and they'd say, give me one grocery, I'd like to check out. Do you have ShopRite card? Oh, no, I didn't bring it, but I do have my phone number. Click, clack, click, 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 clack. And now I've got a little discount. Can I use my food stamps? Just kidding. Food stamps were outlawed in 2027 under the Trump Act of Go Fuck Yourself. The most amazing executive order. Billions of people, they loved it. They signed it. We all signed it. And frankly, it said go fuck yourself in pink. And people understood it was designed for SNAP benefits and the elderly. We signed the second most popular executive order. It was we hate old people. The WHOP, the WHOP,
executive order put into place in January 4th, 2028. And that was when we nuked France. It was beautiful.
I can't keep doing this, bro. Trump, give me a break. I'm tired of winning. I'm so tired of winning. I'm so tired of winning, Daddy. I can't take it anymore. Please, no more winning. I love your voice, but it's so disturbing to hear you speak like Mango Mussolini. Thank you.
And frankly,
how are you and Luigi and Beans holding up? We're all good. Beans is right next to me. He's looking out at the river. He's having a good day. Luigi's sleeping over there on the couch. You know how it is.
El Chito Magneto. El Chito Magneto.
Ooh. Did you get banned on TikTok again? Yeah, that's my 6th ban on TikTok. Permaban. I liked it when you called him Elon fuck. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Do you still think on April 20th we'll have an insurrection? No, that's not what I've ever said. What I said was that on April 20th, Donald Trump will invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. That's not us having an insurrection. That's him invoking the Insurrection Act of 1807 and declaring martial law. And yes, I do still think he's going to do that. EU just sued him for $1 billion for defamation. They ain't gonna get diddly shit from him. You fucking kidding me?
Everything's computer. I love Tesla. Everything's tariff.
Yeah, no, they ain't gonna get shit. We're gonna win so much, you're gonna be tired of winning. Oh, Mr. President, no more winning, please. It's too much winning. Make it stop. They could take his assets, though. They ain't taking shit. No, Elon Musk is the richest man on planet Earth. You cannot touch him. It's impossible. Nobody will ever take anything from him. That will never happen. There is no justice for the rich. You're out of your fucking mind if you think that an EU lawsuit against Elon Musk is gonna conclude with anything. Everyone go buy a Tesla.
We love Tesla. I love Tesla.
Thoughts and tariffs, I guess. Go fuck yourself. Oh, yeah. Have you all seen Texarkana Tesla Rammer? What the fuck? What does that mean? Was that a threat? Was that a threat? I don't trust you. I don't trust you the way that I trust myself. And I feel like that's fair. Do we have any crazy breaking news today that I haven't seen? I feel like it's been a relatively quiet news day. Shut the fuck up. Stock plunge as China retaliates to Trump's tariffs. Well, how did China retaliate? Federal judge orders return of man Trump administration accidentally sent to notorious prison camp in El Salvador. They're not going to return him. Trump already disrespected. He already disregarded a federal order to turn that plane around. He's never going to follow another federal order again. Newsom will seek trade deals that spare California from retaliatory tariffs. Suck my dick, Gavin Newsom. Supreme Court sides with the administration over education department grants. With administration? Oh. The Trump administration? Yeah, no shit. He fucking bought the Supreme Court. Trump shakes up NSA leadership, appoints a new acting director. Great. Fantastic. We're fucked again. Freshfield's only large firm to sign on in support of legal fight against Donald Trump. Yeah, that's because every other law firm he's writing executive orders to literally target. Worst week for U.S. stocks since COVID crash as China hits back on tariffs. Stock market turmoil deepened on Friday as China hit back at tariffs announced by Donald Trump, raising the likelihood of an extended trade war and damage to the global economy. Make another video on this real quick. Everything's computer. I love Tesla. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. We're gonna dive into this article that I just got on the BBC. Haven't really read it yet, just saw the title, and I thought that it would be good to cover this with you. Also, quick reminder, I make these videos live. We are live right now on YouTube. Chat, say hello. Somebody say something, say hello. If you want to make sure that you're here for that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified anytime we go live. On top of that, if you want to help the channel financially, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon. We just launched our first video on Patreon. That is a behind the scenes and what it takes to be a content creator. Doesn't take much. Also, you can become a member here on YouTube, early access to the videos. You can donate money to me. You can use a 40% off discount on Ground News. There's a whole bunch of different things that you could do. But regardless, let's just dive right in. Hi, everybody. So, we got this here from the BBC from 6 hours ago. We are filming this on April 4th, 2025. Worst week for U.S. stocks since COVID crash as China hits back on the tariffs. Before we do read this, I just want to tell you some breaking news that I got regarding China and tariffs and clapbacks is the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know if you guys are big Nintendo guys. I'm a huge Nintendo guy. I fucking love Nintendo. But the Nintendo Switch 2, you're supposed to be able to pre-order it in the United States on April 9th, which is next week. And that has been pulled back. They've said that Nintendo has announced that they're removing the pre-orders from the United States specifically, and that they're going to come up with a different plan for it. They don't know about raising the price. All because, you know, like Nintendo Switch 2s, they're made in China, and we're putting a 50% tariff on all Chinese goods. Sorry, a 50% increase on the tariffs. So it's something like, in total, I don't even know. Fucking, what did we already have on China? 20% tariff, so maybe it's a 70%. Regardless, that $450 fucking Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be something like fucking $800 because of Doland the King. King Doland, please, I'm tired of winning. I'm so fucking tired of winning. I just want to play Mario Kart for the love of fucking God. Let me go. So regardless, let's dive into this. Hey. Dohairas, Likiri, Luigi, no Borg. Stock market turmoil deepened on Friday as China hit... Dude, Luigi, I swear to God, get the fuck back here. I'm so sorry. Stock market turmoil deepened on Friday as China hit back at tariffs announced by Donald Trump, raising the likelihood of an extended trade war and damage to the global economy. All three major stock indexes in the U.S. plunged more than 5%, with the S&P 500 dropping almost 6%, bringing to an end the worst week for the U.S. stock market since 2020. In the UK, the FTSE 100 plunged almost 5%, its steepest fall in 5 years, while Asian markets also dropped and exchanges in Germany and France faced similar declines. Trump, who has vowed to remake the global trade order, dismissed concerns about the market shock, noting that the U.S. labor market is strong. Hang tough, he urged his followers on social media. We can't lose. Dude, like, let me just say one thing. That I know that there's some MAGA people in here, like Grand Marquis is somebody. Grand Marquis, just to meet some middle ground here, like, you know Trump isn't never going to feel the effects of, like, a crashing economy. He's a billionaire, something like Elon Musk or whatnot. So Trump is like, hang tough, we can't lose. You do know that he's, like, you may feel the effects of a crashing economy, but he's a fucking billionaire. He's not going to fucking feel the punishment of an increased price of eggs. You know what I mean? So this is a little bit fucked up. You know, I feel like that, at least even if you fucking hate me and you love Donald Trump, this is like so out of touch. Hang tough. There are people who are living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford a massive increase in prices. They can't afford hyperinflation. People out there have to choose between paying for the fucking rent and paying for the fucking groceries. You gotta admit that, like, that's real in this nation, right? Grand Marquis, come on. That exists. And the market is crashing, and he's telling people to hang on.
What about the Democrats the last 4 years? Did we forget about that? No, Joe Biden fucking sucked. The Democrats sucked. But this crash, the one day, it was worse than the past 5 years. As you can see right here. All three major stock indexes in the U.S. plunged more than 5%, dropping almost 6%, bringing to an end the worst week for the U.S. stock market since 2020. Now, this isn't like liberal media. This is the fucking BBC. This is British news. They have no vested interest in swaying the public opinion of American politics, you know? Anyway, let's keep on reading. I like discourse. I don't mind having Trump supporters in the chat. Having civil conversations is important, but it's when people start to get weird that, you know, you may end up getting hitting with the ban hammer. Just don't get weird. Just don't get weird. Anyway, what did he say? Grand Marquis said in response, he said, BBC is trash. I don't know why you would say that. Yeah, the stock market is tanking, but it's all part of the plan. So to people watching this, this is what you're up against. People who are watching their own demise, watching the collapse of the U.S. economy, the collapse of the global economy, and they go, it's all part of the plan. This is why I tell you that there's between like 12 and 30% of the nation is in a cult, where there's nothing that can happen that will actually pull them out. They can watch the market collapse and go, it's fine. Those people are not people that it's worth like wasting your energy on. But there are people, excuse me, there are people who are willing to be reasoned with. There are people who will see the light eventually, and do not discard them. Anyway, the global stock market has lost trillions in value since Trump announced sweeping new 10% import taxes on goods from every country, with products from dozens of countries, including key trading partners such as China, the European Union, and Vietnam, facing far higher rates. You think that everyone that doesn't agree with you is a cultist? No, I do understand that there are Republicans out there. I have Republican friends, and like more power to you. You can have your own beliefs in whatever policies you want. I do think that there's a large amount of people who there's nothing Donald Trump can do that would get them to jump ship on him. What I will say to you while I continue with reading is, Grand Marquis, if you could please tell me one thing that Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him. I'm genuinely curious. I'm sure you can come up with something. I don't care how hypothetical. Anyway, let's keep on reading. Analysts say the moves, some of which are due to go into effect as soon as Saturday, amount to the biggest tax increase in the U.S. since 1968. They expect the measures to lead to a contraction in trade and have warned they could drive many countries into an economic recession. China responded to Trump on Friday by hitting U.S. goods with import taxes of 34%, curbing exports of key minerals and adding U.S. firms to its blacklist, describing Trump's actions as, quote, bullying and a violation of international trade rules. Other countries appear hoping they will be able to negotiate deals, despite conflicting signals from the White House about its appetite for talks. Trump clearly is not in the mood to negotiate. He's not the type of guy who negotiates. He just like demands what he wants. It's very interesting. Oh fuck. Here we go. Maros Sefcovic, the trade commissioner for the EU, which has said it plans to retaliate, said Friday that he had a, quote, frank 2-hour exchange with U.S. officials and wrote on social media that the trade relationship needed a, quote, fresh approach. Quote, the EU's committed to meaningful negotiations, but also prepared to defend our interests, he said. We stay in touch. Very interesting. Okay, so we've got the response from Grand Marquis when I asked him if there's anything Trump could do that would get him to stop supporting him. Let's see what he says. I criticize his soft stance on abortion, his false Christian persona, his softness on Hamas, and his handling of Ukraine and Russia. Okay, well, I don't agree with probably your takes, but I will say I will commend the fact that you are capable of criticizing him. That is important. Do not praise political leaders. There's no point. He's not a fucking god. He is a man, and he's a corrupt man. just like every other goddamn politician. But you're entitled to your opinion. I firmly believe in a woman's right to an abortion. I don't really care about Christianity too much. I was raised Christian. I'm not Christian anymore. I feel like people should have the freedom to practice whatever religion they want. His softness on Hamas, he definitely has not been soft on Hamas. We armed Israel with like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of weapons, and Israel bombed the ever-loving fuck out of them. And his handling of Ukraine and Russia, I agree. I don't like his handling of Ukraine and Russia. He's really been appeasing Vladimir Putin. Granted, I don't know why you don't like his handling of Ukraine and Russia. There's plenty of things I criticize about him, but he's far better than the other choice we had. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to fucking scream at you. I don't think Kamala Harris was a good candidate. I do think she was a better choice than Mango Mussolini, but I would never die on the hill of Kamala Harris being a good candidate. She was a dog shit candidate. Anyway, let's keep on reading. Trump's moves are consistent with promises he had made on the campaign trail last year, but they were still far more reaching than many analysts had expected, sparking some of the worst days for the stock market since 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic led to global shutdowns and other disruption. The sell-off started with firms such as Apple and Nike, which rely heavily on suppliers in Asia, but on Friday it moved into sectors that would typically not face direct impact of tariffs, such as consumer staples, healthcare, and utilities. Quote, "Candidly, the mood is pretty sour, and it should be," said Mike Dixon, head of research and quantitative strategies at Horizon Investments in the U.S., warning that it will take weeks to understand the impact of Trump's tariffs. Quote, "What we're really worried about right now is what we saw at 6 a.m.-ish when China retaliated." He said, "How much more of that is out there?" I mean, that's a good point. This is only day 2, guys. This is only day 2, and these tariffs seemingly are permanent because they've been asked whether or not this is going to be reversed, and it doesn't seem like it will be. I would have much rather had DeSantis. I didn't like DeSantis. The Trump 28 stuff and the 100-term comments I just said to troll the libs. Well, I'm glad. Listen, if you have to choose whether or not you support the Constitution or whether you support a Trump 3rd term, because the only way for Trump to get a 3rd term is to circumvent the Constitution. So that's a you problem. Brendan Herrera should be ATF director. He'd do a great job in Florida. Is that the AK guy? Are you talking about the fucking AK guy? Like the YouTuber? That's a little wild. I don't know. Listen. Donald Trump is a goddamn president, and he was a reality TV star, so I don't know what the fuck is going to stop him, the YouTuber. Anyway, let's keep on reading because I want to finish up the good part of this article. In a note to investors, J.P. Morgan said it now put the odds of a global economic recession this year at 60%, up from 40% previously, noting that the shock from the tariffs could drive growth in the U.S. down by 2 percentage points this year. I will say one thing real quick. On the campaign trail, the fucking MAGA chuds kept on saying that if Kamala, and even Trump himself, said that if Kamala Harris is elected, she's going to crash the U.S. economy. Trump fucking crashed the U.S. economy overnight. So why isn't MAGA capable of calling him out for this? I don't understand. Unless they're just like, no, crashing the U.S. economy is a good thing. What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Anyway, let's keep reading. Some investors downplayed the losses, noting that they follow an astonishing run-up in the value of share prices in the U.S. over the past few years. Quote, "These shifts in the market that we're seeing in..." What the fuck? "These shifts in the market that we're seeing in the market..." What are you, rapping? "They're violent because things go down a lot quicker than they go up," said Tim Pagliara, chief executive of Tennessee-based CapWealth. He said the White House was attempting a, quote, "big reset in global trade, but the effort was needed." Quote, "We've talked about trade imbalance my entire career. Nothing's ever happened, so something has to happen," he said. "We are going to level the playing field on some of these relationships that have just gotten out of balance." Speaking on Friday, Jerome Powell, the head of U.S. Central Bank, said he thought the economy remained, quote, "solid," pointing to the latest data showing strong hiring in the U.S. in March, but he acknowledged a high degree of uncertainty. Quote, "What we've learned is that the tariffs are higher than anticipated, higher than almost all forecasters predicted," Mr. Powell said, warning that growth would slow and prices were likely to rise. Well, yeah, I mean, of course prices are going to rise. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that. People aren't that fucking stupid. Bal Bjorn, literally not true. FDR served 4 terms like 80 to 90 years ago. What did Bal Bjorn say? Grandma, what American history of term limits have always existed since the first president? Yeah, so Bal Bjorn, you guys are both wrong, okay? Here's the thing. Term limits existed as a courtesy. It was never written into law. And it became a courtesy after George Washington refused having a third term in 1796, right? He just said, like, hey, we probably shouldn't do that, right? That was not law. But every president since, up until FDR, decided not to run for a third term because George Washington did. FDR was such a good fucking president that people encouraged him to run for a third term, and there were no rules against it, so he did. And then the same thing a fourth time, and then he died 3 months into that fourth term. After he died, both sides of the government realized we should probably make term limits a law. We should probably codify this into law because this could fuck with both of us, Democrats and Republicans, considering if the other team gets somebody in there, we're going to be pissed if there's no fucking term limit. So yes, now there are term limits. Yeah, I know that. You aren't telling me anything I haven't heard, but just because it's a courtesy doesn't mean it's a requirement. No, it is a requirement now, Grand Marquis. In 56? I forgot exactly what year, but the 22nd Amendment was codified into the U.S. Constitution, and now we do have 2 term limits. No person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. That is the 22nd Amendment. Anyway, I'm not going to read the rest of this article because it's going to keep on going, and I think that the people watching this on YouTube fully understand it. You can get this article yourself on the BBC. But real quick, to the people who are watching on YouTube, I'm going to end this. To the people who are watching live, stay here. To the YouTube people watching this pre-recorded, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely. If you do want to help me out financially, you can become a patron on Patreon. You can become a member here. You could buy some of this dope-ass fucking merch down below, and you can use a 40% off discount on Ground News. Thank you for tuning into the Valenti VOD, and I'll catch you tomorrow for Rabbit Hole. Okay. Well, yeah, now it is with the 22nd Amendment. I meant then. The only reason term limits were made was because they didn't want someone in office who could actually get things done. No, bro, that's not why. Dude, they made term limits to prevent the United States from becoming an authoritarian dictatorship. You want term limits, bro. Are you trying to tell me that you don't want term limits? You want somebody to be able to become the president and then just keep on fucking staying the president forever? Are you serious about that? Are you hydrated? Somewhat. Do you genuinely want that, Grand Marquis? Why didn't they put term limits in Congress? I wish they did. Congressman Ro Khanna, he has just proposed a bill to the House of Representatives that puts term limits on Congress. I think there should be term limits on all elected officials, the Supreme Court too. We should have term limits on everything. We should. I don't think having a position for life makes any fucking sense. Don't you agree there? What's the fucking problem, dude? Take a chill pill. Should we regulate firearms? And if so, how much should we? Of course we should regulate firearms. We already regulate firearms. We've always regulated firearms. The fuck are we talking about here? Nobody advocates for zero regulation on fire. I mean, some people do, but they're deeply unserious. The argument has always been where the line is being drawn. You know, gun control is something that everybody believes in. It's just about where we draw that line. Personally, I don't care. If someone can win the Electoral College 3, 4, 5 times in a row, then they probably deserve it. Okay, well, that's where you and I have a fundamental disagreement. I believe that term limits are important to, allow the American people to correct themselves if they feel like they've made a mistake. You are anti-Second Amendment criticizing my anti-22nd? What? I'm not anti-Second Amendment, dude. I'm a gun owner. I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I also believe in gun control. Those are not... you're so quiet, bro. Oh, my apologies. Thank you for telling me. Those are not mutually exclusive ideas. You can be a fucking gun owner and believe in gun control. But yeah, no, I'm absolutely not against the Second Amendment. excuse me, gun control is anti-Second Amendment, then why does the NRA support gun control? The NRA has always supported gun control. They don't want American civilians to have access to military-grade weapons. What are you talking about? Gun control is not... I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. So can I ask you a question, Grand Marquis? Can I ask you a question? I know I'm taking it to an extreme here. I'm taking it to the... Before I ask you the question, can I ask you an extreme question? The NRA is garbage, fraudulent organization designed to profit off people's fear of their guns being taken away. Okay, I'm going to ask you an extreme question, but it's a fucking hypothetical. So could you just, like, try to answer it? Do you believe that because the military has access to nuclear weapons, civilians should also have access to nuclear weapons? And I know that's not a gun, but it's an extreme hypothetical. And now we wait. And now we wait. Obviously, no, but I also don't think any military should have nukes, although the reality is a modern world. Okay, denuclearization is a topic we could shift to, but I just want to point something out. That's not gun control, because I know a nuclear weapon is not a gun, but would you at least agree that that's a form of, like, weapon control? You understand that there are weapons that, like, civilians just shouldn't have. You understand that. Right? I'm a UN delegate for denuclearization. I actually know a lot about the topic. I firmly believe denuclearization is realistic. It can happen. But regardless, that's a completely different topic. Do you at least agree that not allowing civilians to have a nuclear weapon, but allowing governments to have it, is a form of weapon control? I wouldn't put a nuke and guns in the same... No, but that's why I said this is an extreme hypothetical, dude. It's an extreme hypothetical. I'm trying to make a point here, which is you understand that there are some weapons that civilians should not have access to. It's a very simple question. It's not a gotcha. It's just a fucking... Like, we can have common sense. We can fucking agree on something. There are some weapons that you think civilians shouldn't have access to, right? Yeah, getting a pistol permit is really hard in New York. I tried. It's very difficult. But we were talking about gun control, not nuke control. It's an extreme hypothetical. Yeah, to the point. Yeah, to the point. I think it's dumb to even say. Brother, I'm asking you an incredibly simple question. You don't need to move the goalpost or beat around the bush. There's fucking 72 people here. This is not a big deal. You agree with me that there... Oh, you didn't. So you do agree. You agree that there are some weapons that civilians shouldn't own? You agree? No, we shouldn't... I said, no, we shouldn't have nukes. Oh my God, dude, you're moving the goalpost. This is what moving the goalpost means. That's what that means. I'm asking you a simple question. Forget about nukes. Do you think that there are some weapons that civilians should not have access to? Yes or no? I wouldn't put weapons and weapons of mass destruction. Dude, you just fucking said the word weapons in weapons of mass destruction. I'm going to ask you again super fucking slowly, dude. Please Be brave and answer the question. Do you believe that there are some weapons that civilians should not have access to? Yes or no? You're trying to simplify it to a point where it doesn't make sense. Guys, there's nothing I can do for this guy. He knows what my point is. He just refuses to answer because he's probably like a young kid and just doesn't want to admit something that makes him look silly. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm sorry, Grand Marquis, there's no point in me continuing to have a conversation with you if you're completely unwilling to participate in it. There's no point. If you're not going to participate in the conversation, I'm just not going to fucking talk to you, dude. I'm sorry. All right, what else do we have? I answered you, you just didn't like my answer. No, you unironically did not answer me. You literally did not answer me. I'll give you one last try. One final try. Answer this with a yes or a no. Do you think there are some weapons that civilians should not own? Yes or no? There we go. Yeah, bro. There's no point. There is no point in even trying. I do what I can, you know. There are plenty of people who can be reasoned with and talked to, but not you. China slaps a 34% tax on all U.S. imports in retaliation to Trump's tariffs. Oh, great. Fantastic. So I just mute him or... Nah, you don't need to mute him. There's no point. There's no need. I did what I could. Trump is hero? Hell yeah, Marty. Yeah. To the billionaires. You look like you're about to cry. Do I really? Do I really? Oh. It's the lighting, I think. It is very gray outside. Opinion of the Libertarian Party? Oh, I think libertarians are fucking weird, dude. Like, they're deeply unserious. They're people who, like, you might as well be a fucking anarchist if you don't believe that government is useful. What's up, fuckstick? How you doing, Matt? This guy says, I believe with a proper background check, a citizen should be allowed to own grenades. Well, I hope to God you never fucking become a politician. Dave Smith is turning on Trump. He's King Libertarian. I know. Yeah, no. The Libertarians are turning on Trump hardcore because he's fucking destroying everything. In what situation would anyone ever need to use grenades? I don't fucking know. I mean, maybe if you're hunting like a whole bunch of fucking ptarmigan. Who knows? In the event of a tyrannical government, Grand Marquis, that immediately demolishes your entire argument from earlier. The government has nuclear weapons. So wait, are you saying that you can then have whatever the government has in the event of a tyrannical government? Is that the reason why you think you can have grenades? Is because the government has grenades and we have to be able to be on an even playing field? That dude is brain dead? Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Well, then why would you... No. Explain yourself, brother. Why would, in the event of a tyrannical government, be a response for you to have a grenade? If the government has nuclear weapons, your grenade is useless. Right? Your grenade is useless. Chris, you don't seriously think a government would nuke its own country? Yes, I fucking do. It's called the Hannibal Protocol. If we're at risk of losing like a critical city like Los Angeles or New York to a foreign invader, we will quicker nuke this fucking land than allow a foreign invader to have it. Like I said, I don't think the government should have nukes. I don't think anyone should. No, I know that's a great fallback to avoid the question that I'm asking, but this has nothing to do with nukes. Why do you think that you should be allowed to have grenades? Is it because the government has grenades? Therefore, you should have grenades? What are we talking about right now? A little bit of the Second Amendment. And a tyrannical government wouldn't nuke its own country. If that's the case, why hasn't North Korea done it? There's no example of it ever happening. Obviously, there's a chance it could. Dude, it's because nuclear weapons are fucking useless. There's a reason why no nation has ever used them in combat. They're fucking useless. They're so big that all you're gonna obliterate the entire enemy army. You're gonna obliterate half your fucking army, and depending on which direction the wind is blowing, you're gonna obliterate all the fucking land through the radioactive fallout. They're just useless. Do you want to take our guns too? Bro, I'm a gun owner. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck why do you come in here with like pre-established notions of what my beliefs are? Just ask me. Just fucking ask me. What's your stance on gun control? It's very simple. There are certain weapons that civilians should not have access to, right? And in my eyes, those are things like fully automatic weapons. I guess, rocket launchers. That's really it. It's really it. We use nuclear weapons all the time. No, we don't. No, we do not. Why not? They banned full auto and gun violence has skyrocketed since. NFA Act has literally done nothing. Yeah, no, so I believe that banning fully automatic weapons like that has done something. And what I think it has done is like all of these mass shootings that you and you're talking about, these school shootings, these mass school shootings, you're right. Most of them are done with sidearms and semi-automatic rifles. You're right. I believe that if those people had access to fully automatic weapons, those mass casualty events would have been much larger. Much larger. Can you agree on that? That if somebody shoots up an area with a semi-automatic weapon, they probably would have had more casualties if they used a fully automatic weapon? Then where are you going to put all the stuff that made the nuclear weapons? It never goes away, so you want us to be defenseless while you're not living in reality. No, dude, I want all nations to get rid of nuclear weapons. I'm not saying the U.S. gets rid of them and Russia keeps them. I want every nation on planet Earth to just stop using nuclear weapons. You don't agree? All right, whatever. But regardless, that's my take on gun control. I don't think that civilians should have access to fully automatic weapons or explosive launchers, you know. Boo. Whatever. I'm a gun owner, you know. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Ask any service member. They will tell you they almost never switch to full auto because it's not very good use in combat. Semi-auto is much better for combat because it's easier to control. Yeah, I know that, dude. I come from a military family. My dad fought in Nam. I know that. But still, I'm talking about like something like a fucking M240 Bravo, fully automatic, fucking fat mag, 150 rounds. Or not a mag, box, fat belt. I don't think a civilian should be allowed to own that. You want to take our guns away, bro? You can't hide it. Bro, I have a gun. What the fuck? What are you talking about? I'm telling you I don't want to do that. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth. Oh. Why are you a communist? Like, bro, stop spreading misinformation. I'm not a communist. And I haven't spread any misinformation. Hey, Nancy, please no slurs. Please don't use the R word. Okay? Please. The R word, are you 12? No, I just have family members who have mental disabilities, and I don't like it. Okay? I don't like when you use that as a way, as a slur or to degrade people, because I have loved ones who have mental disabilities. Is that, like, is me asking you to be a good person too triggering? For fuck's sake, I'm just asking you to be a decent person. You get one warning, okay? And then you're just gonna get banned. You get one warning. All right, Jack, ban Nancy Torres, perma. Bye, Nancy. I asked you fucking politely. Perma ban. Bye, Nancy. Have a good one. You get banned like every other day, bro. You're the one spreading misinformation. Please tell me one piece of misinformation that I've spread. Please tell me one. Oh, I fucking hate J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance loves Curtis Yarvin. He's a big fan of neotech feudalism. You spread the misinfo that American democracy can be saved. Huh? The segregation thing, bro? What, you mean when Trump undid an executive order that makes segregation legal again? Brother, I understand the older millennial and all these fucking propagandists made videos that convinced you that what you saw with your own eyes didn't happen. But Trump signed an executive order that makes private contractors within the federal government no longer have to enforce anti-segregation policies. He literally made it easier to practice segregation. That's literally what he did. No, he made it so you don't have to report on it. You're the fascist here? This has nothing to do with fascism, dude. But yes, you're right. He made it so that you no longer have to report on whether private contractors are practicing anti-segregation policies. He has made it easier for people to practice segregation within the federal government. So a lie, got it. See, this is my point, dude. You're like these same people probably spew out like it's like 1984, brother. You're not believing what you're seeing with your own eyes. It's insane. Am I allowed to say fuck? You guys are allowed to curse all the fuck you want. You just can't say slurs. This is not a complicated rule. While I condemn Jim Crow laws, it's interesting how the quality of life in the black community has gotten significantly worse since they've been gone. Are you trying to say that Jim Crow laws made black people's lives better? Is that actually the argument you're about to give? Is that what you're about to say? MAGA forever. We don't want your Marxists in our great nation. Please tell me what Marxism is. I just said that things haven't gotten better. I led with condemning Jim Crow laws for a reason. But yeah, dude, life was horrible under the Jim Crow laws. People were getting fucking lynched in the streets daily. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you even talking about? Yeah, they were pretty bad. That's one way to put it, dude. Jim Crow South. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Bro acting like he's 150 and remembers the good old days. No, deadass. Bro's acting like he misses the plantation. Oh, hey, Valenti, where are you in the political compass? I'm a democratic socialist. Average income for black families has gotten worse since then relative to other ethnic groups. Crime within the black community has gotten worse. Drug abuse worse. Yes, this is all because of systemic racism. This is all, yes, we got rid of Jim Crow laws, but fucking racism is built into our institutions. The reason why the black population has, you know, like what you're saying, higher crime rates and drug abuse rates is because they also have higher poverty rates. When you live in poverty, the same like things that you're talking about among like the black population can be said about poor white populations. The common thread is their level of poverty. Question: how many cops come to your day, bro? You're a threat to our democracy and you're not an American anymore. Join MAGA. Yeah, dude, you're in a cult, bro. I can't help you. You're in a cult. There's nothing I can say or do. You're just going to be convinced that I am an enemy of the state. Best form of reparations is investing in communities affected most by discrimination. I agree. Again, if we don't agree, you shout cult. Grand Marquis, can you be so fucking for real? Read that again. Question: how many cops come to your door? Bro, you're a threat to democracy and you're not American anymore. Join MAGA. Are you really going to tell me that that is not cult-like behavior? That me not being MAGA means I'm a threat to democracy and I'm no longer American? That's not about agreeing or disagreeing. That's about the guy saying, because you are not a supporter of Donald Trump, you are a threat to democracy. It's not about agreeing. Marquis kind of cringe, not gonna lie. He is cringe, but I also feel like he's teetering on the edge where I could possibly save him. You're in a cult. We MAGA follow Trump. We MAGA follow Trump, the man who saved America from your woke BS. Yeah, dude, I mean, you praise the leader, you say we MAGA. We MAGA! You probably have the same hat, you probably have the flag. If you play Call of Duty, you probably changed your clan tag to Trump. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. You're in a cult. I mean, I don't think you're a threat to democracy. Thank you, Grand Marquis. I appreciate that. I can possibly save him. Save me from what? Having my own opinion? No, save you from, like, not being so hateful. Save you from, like, you know, I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but I hope that, like, if you're a man, you're not, like, doing this to think that it's, like, manly. Like, there's nothing masculine about being a Republican or a Democrat. You know, like, I hope this is stuff you actually fucking believe in, because if it's not, and you've been led to believe these things, I don't know how old you are, you know, but it's just, you know, what have I said? What have I said that's hateful? No, well, being in support of Donald Trump usually comes hand in hand with a lot of hatred. Usually does. 99% of the people that I know who are, like, still in MAGA are riddled with fucking hatred. So the majority of Americans are riddled with hatred. Well, first things first. The majority of Americans did not vote for Donald Trump. The majority of Americans did not vote. Facts don't care about your feelings. The majority of Americans did not vote. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Sorry, I didn't vote for Kamala Lamo. Okay. Why can't we just get along and agree that everything's computer? He won the popular vote. Saying the majority didn't vote is a nice fallback, though. No, dude, you said that the majority of Americans voted for Donald Trump. They didn't. The majority of Americans did not vote. Okay? I think it's around like 22 to 28% of the American civilization voted for Donald Trump. Who won the popular vote? Trump did. Yes. How do you think the world would have differed if Hillary had won? I don't fucking know, dude. So half the nation is stupid. Dude, we just said, bro, like only 22 to 28% of the nation voted for Donald Trump. More than half of the nation didn't vote. What the dude, you know the number. How many people voted for Donald Trump? You know this. I know the number. How many people voted for Donald Trump? $77 million. Okay. How many people are in the United States of America? Incorrect, Wiseham. Incorrect. Samuel is correct. Between 340 and 360 million. Now, real quick, majority means what? 51% or above, right? Correct? Majority means 51% or above, right? How you doing, Ace of Spades? Okay, so what is 51% of 340 million? What is 50%? 125 million. So what does that mean, guys? This is basic math. This is just addition and subtraction. It means that in order for you to say that the majority of Americans voted for Donald Trump means that he would have had to have garnered 125 million votes, which he did not. This has nothing to do with supporting him or not. This is simply just facts. We have to be able to agree on numbers and facts. Otherwise, there's no saving this nation. There has to be an agreement on facts. There has to be. Facts don't care about your feelings, bro. We won, so you're calling a lot of people stupid. Yes. Yes. I think that there are only two types of, or actually three types of Trump supporters. There's the working class there's a working class voter that is very uneducated. There is a working class voter that is very hateful. And then there's a rich man who will actually benefit from his policies. I genuinely believe those are the only three types of Trump supporters. Like I said, I'm not counting people that didn't vote. I'm just talking about those who made a choice, though. The majority of people I know that didn't vote have told me that they would have voted Trump. Okay, yeah, but dude, anecdotal evidence doesn't mean fucking shit. The majority of people I talked to, the majority of people I fucking talked to said the opposite. It doesn't fucking matter. See, and you say we are a cult? Dude, what did I say that is incorrect? The United States has a horrible education system. We are one of the lowest rated nations in the first world in terms of education. And you can look at the voting breakdown. Red states are disproportionately less educated than blue states. That is not my opinion. That's a fact. You could look at the education rates state by state. The higher your state's education level is, the more likely your state is to vote blue. I voted for Trump because I wanted a better economy. Well, you ain't getting that. Brother, I'm from the Chicago area, Illinois, one of the most Democrat states in the nation. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. The fuck does that have to do with anything I said? Trump has a plan. He's crashing the economy on purpose, bro. Get smart. Yeah, this is what I said in my video fucking last month. I said Trump is going to crash the economy on purpose. Thanks, Ace of Spades. I appreciate you, brother. You just think that everyone who supports Trump is a terrible person or stupid, and you don't think that's culty. Grand Marquis, there's a reason why I think this. For example, let me just ask you straight up. Are you a billionaire, Grand Marquis? I'm going to assume no, but are you a billionaire? No, I'm a regular working class person. Okay, fantastic. Can you please tell me one Trump policy that he has enacted that helps you, the working man, more than it helps the billionaire class? Just one policy, please. I said, hey, Wisdom, no. He didn't do no tax on tips or overtime. I said something that he's done, not something that he has said he will do. We're talking about things that he's done. He has not followed through with no tax on tips and overtime, and I would love if he did that, but I don't think he's going to. Economic policy wasn't what I voted for. So you can't name one Trump policy that made your life better? 2 days ago, Jerusalem Post, German intel, Russia planning large-scale war, testing NATO resolve report. Google this? I'll Google it later. I'll get it Googled right now, but I'm not going to cover it right now. Jerusalem Post, German intel, Russia planning large-scale war. Thank you. Appreciate that. Please talk about this accidental deportation and doublespeak for the White House. What is there to say? They're disappearing people. They're getting people who should not be deported, and then they don't have a plan to bring them back. I voted for Trump because of his support for Israel and his more anti-abortion stance than Kamala, though he's still soft on abortion, and because he's more pro-Second Amendment than Kamala. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, Grand Marquis, and this is going to decide whether or not I can allow you to stay in my chat. It's a very simple question. Okay? Seemingly you're very anti-abortion. It's very simple. Do you believe that abortion is murder, Grand Marquis? I'm expecting him to say yes. This is not the end-all be-all question. Wisdom, you could just answer the question. Do you believe that abortion is murder? Evening. Good evening, Noah Hardy. Yes, though, I believe people who've gotten abortions have been deceptively convinced into making this choice. We are former victims. Gecko! Thank you, W. Gecko, for becoming a loyalist. I appreciate that. Okay, so Grand Marquis said yes. He believes that abortion is murder. Do you believe that murderers should go to prison? Grand Marquis, do you believe that murderers should go to prison? W Gecko, W Gecko, W Gecko, W Gecko. Thank you, Gecko. Appreciate you. Thank you, Gecko. That's not where I'm going, Grand Marquis. Please answer my question. Do you believe that murderers should go to prison? Jack, are you still here? Okay, so Grand Marquis says yes, he believes murderers should go to prison. So my question is this. Would you support future legislation that punishes women who get abortions with jail time or, depending on the state, capital punishment? Because we have some states where you can be put to death for murder. Jack is still here? Fantastic. So, Grand Marquis, please answer the question. Would you support future legislation that would charge women who get abortions with either prison time or capital punishment? Thanks, Gecko. Appreciate that. Nice watch. Thank you. Appreciate that. Waiting for my answer here. I am going to end the live kind of soon, by the way, guys. It's rough watching Chris deal with this shit on a daily basis. Well, we do what we can. I do what I can. I ain't never going to give up. I'm trying to fix this nation. I have to poop, but I'm waiting for Grand Mar piss. I just want to see his response to this last final couple of questions, and then I'm probably going to end the stream. Read my answer. You skipped it. Oh, Grand Marquis said yes, and if abortion was made illegal, then those who do them illegally should go to prison. Okay, so my final question is very simple, Grand Marquis. My final question is very simple. Do you support legislation that forces pregnant women to give birth? Do you support legislation that would force women, pregnant women, to give birth? Grand Marquis, all I see is read the rest. I answered your question, and then read my answer. You skipped it. So your message didn't go through. It didn't go through. Sometimes messages don't go through. I am very anti-Trump, Kalins. So again, I will ask, do you support legislation that would force pregnant women to give birth? Damn, Marquis be silent sometimes. Yeah, he do be silent sometimes. Did bro leave? I don't know. I don't know. Who cares? Me, Matt, there's people here who watch and they need to know how to have these arguments with people. Like they have family members and they need to know how to pin them in the corner with these questions and really get into the brain. He gone? Yeah, I think he left. I answered, but I think my message is being hidden for keywords. Okay, then, Grand Marquis, can please just answer yes or no. Would you support legislation that forces pregnant women to give birth? Yes or no? Because I can say no, I would not support legislation that forces pregnant women to give birth. Everybody answer so we can hold his hand and show him how it's done. Guys, yes or no? Would you support legislation that forces pregnant women to give birth? Yes or no? See, just like that, Marquis, all you have to do is say yes or no. It's very simple. It's really easy. I support absolute ban on abortions from time of conception, no exceptions. So I'm going to ask you again because you keep on refusing to answer. No, he said he beat around the bush. I'm going to ask him one more time. Yes or no? Those are the two things I want you to choose between. Yes or no? Would you support legislation that forces pregnant women to give birth? Yes or no? I know he answered in a long form. I just want a yes or a no. Matt, I'm going to have to put my own fucking mod in the goddamn corner. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I gotta fucking put my own fucking mod in a goddamn corner. Fucking put my own goddamn mod in a corner. Anyway. What did he say? It's kind of a yes, but I believe a premature C-section should be induced if the mother's life is at risk. Okay, so you support it. You support legislation that would force pregnant women to give birth. Is Matt too scared to do the Valenti VODs with you? Yes. Not you, Jack. Never seen a mod get modded before. So what's your next question? I don't have any more questions. Jack, you can perma-ban him. I don't deal with fucking people who want to restrict people's freedoms. There's no point. I'll support legislation that literally gets rid of a woman's bodily autonomy. Go fuck yourself with a corkscrew. I wish you violently ill. Perma-ban him. Suck my fat cock. Perma-ban him. I support MAGA. Why don't you? Just asking. Because I studied history and political science. I understand the stepping stones into fascism, and Donald Trump meets all of the qualifications of a fascist. You're a fascist, a neo-Nazi. You need a new male role model. I'm a fascist. I'm a neo-Nazi. Are you serious or are you trolling? I don't think you know what fascism is, or Nazism, to be frank. I can prove it too. Go ahead, prove it. Trump's not a fascist, bro? He is. I'm going to pull up the key characteristics of fascism. Excuse me. What do you guys want me to use for the key characteristics of fascism? You want Wiki? You want ChatGPT? What do you fucking want for the key characteristics of fascism? What do you want? Because I'll pull her up. What do you want? I ain't using fucking Grok. You gotta pay for Grok, dude. Don't you have to pay for Grok? Do you have to pay for Let's see. Alright. That ain't fucking... What is this? Ugh. Oh, God. You gotta log in. I'm not using something I have to fucking log in to use. I'm not doing that. What do you want for the key characteristics of fascism? Is Wikipedia okay? Is ChatGPT okay? What do you want? Radical.org, Kent State College. We've got Keene State College. Is that okay? You do not know what a fascist is? Read me above comment. Fascism is the marriage of powers in corporate and government, meaning news media and FBI colluding with a political party. That's the Democrats. You're a neo-Nazi because you're a racialist. So that's not what fascism is whatsoever. But that's the Democrats. So in your mind, just fascism is the Democrats, and then you're a neo-Nazi because you're a racialist. I don't even know what the fuck a racialist is. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's not about limiting a woman's rights. It's about defending the right of the defenseless unborn child. Kind of bogus for banning me when I wasn't insulting or using... Oh, you're back. You have a second account. Yeah, no, Jack, permaban him. Dude, I don't talk to people who want to control people's bodies. That's really strange. Permaban. Goodbye. Go fuck yourself. Suck my dick. I don't converse with you. Just pull it already, you snowflake. All right, we'll use ChatGPT. I ask you because whatever I pull up, you're going to have a problem with. Because it's not going to reinforce your beliefs. Cut. Why are you giving me two different fucking answers? I just want one. I just wanted one. But okay. Allow me to zoom in for you. Or no, I guess I gotta zoom out. I just want response 2 here. Hold on. Dr. Lawrence, whatever. All right, can you guys see this side on the right? Can you see this? You guys can see all that? Peace out, Retro. We're ending the live very soon. All right. So it's a little small. All right. Regardless, you just let me know if we're going to go through it. You let me know if he meets the description or not. So the first one, powerful and continuing nationalism. Constant use of patriotic mottos, slogans, symbols, songs, and flags. National pride is emphasized to unify the population. I think that's a clear yes. Check. He meets that one. Yes? Check. Powerful and continuing nationalism. That's fine, though. It's not about whether you agree with it or not, Kalins. This is the 14 key characteristics of fascism, attributed to political theorist Dr. Lawrence Britt, who analyzed the regimes of Hitler, Mussolini, France, Suharto. So it's not about whether you agree with it or not. That's something you have to understand. We're just covering whether or not Trump meets these qualifications. So you agree that Trump meets qualification number 1, right? Powerful and continuing nationalism. We agree? Somebody keep track. We have 1 of 14 so far. We have 1 of 14. Keep track, right? 1 of 14. Somebody. Okay. Number 2, disdain for the recognition of human rights. Because of fear of enemies and the need for security, people are persuaded that human rights can be ignored in certain cases. We have seen the Trump regime deport over 200 Venezuelans without due process, and they've admitted that they deported people who were not illegal aliens, and they have no plan to get them back. He meets this. He meets this. Yes. Illegals. No, Kalins. The Trump regime has admitted that they deported a legal resident. He was not an undocumented immigrant. They sent him to the fucking concentration camp in El Salvador. They are actively trying to come up with a plan to get him back. You are incorrect. Even the Trump administration disagrees with you. So you're incorrect, Kalins. That's a mistake. Okay, so you admit he has met qualification number 2. Number 3. Identification of enemies / scapegoats as a unifying cause. The people are rallied into a unifying patriotic frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common threat or foe. In this case, the perceived common threat or foe are illegal aliens. He meets this one too. He meets this. Whether you admit it or not, he meets this. Number 4. Supremacy of the military. The military is given a disproportionate amount of government funding and is glorified. Domestic problems are often dealt with by military means. I don't think he meets this one yet. This one we are yet to see. I'm not fucking insane. I'm not going to just say he meets all these qualifications. I don't believe he meets this one. I don't. You can. I don't think he does. I think he could potentially meet it in the future. Okay? But regardless, let's move on to the next one. In my eyes, that's 3 out of 14, not 4 out of 14. Okay? The next one we have. Rampant sexism. This is ChatGPT, bro. It's bought out by the Liz, but okay. I just asked you if ChatGPT was okay, and you literally said yes. That's why I fucking asked you, specifically. And I even said, you're gonna have a problem with whatever the fuck I pull up, no matter what. You are so fucking predictable. Holy fuck. Do you not see the idiocy? Let's keep going. Rampant sexism. Traditional gender roles are made more rigid. You cannot deny that. Opposition to abortion, homosexuality, and feminism is common. He meets that, yes? Controlled mass media. Media is directly controlled by the government or subject to censorship and propaganda. You're seeing this right now with Jeff Bezos and Amazon purchasing TikTok to try and regulate it as much as they possibly can. Trump literally said women are smarter than men. Holy ever-loving fuck. If you think that scrubs away his entire record of grab him by the pussy and making literal laws. Dude, you're gonna read this right here and tell me Trump doesn't mean this when he signed the fucking executive order saying that, like, transgenderism isn't real? You're gonna read this and tell me Trump doesn't believe this, that traditional gender roles are made more rigid? Really? You're gonna tell me Trump does not believe this? Really? Is that what you're gonna tell me? Controlled mass media. Media is directly controlled by the government or subject to censorship and propaganda. We already know legacy media is controlled by the government, whether it be CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, is all controlled by the government. And now we know that Facebook and Instagram, that's all controlled by Mark Zuckerberg, and fucking YouTube is controlled by Sundar Pichai and all these people. And like, so this one, yes, we already know this one. He kicked out the fucking Associated Press, controlling the mass media. Obsession with national security. Fear is used as a tool to motivate the masses to accept excessive power and control in the name of protection. He absolutely meets this one. Absolutely. Religion and government are intertwined. Government uses the most common religion in the nation as a tool to manipulate public opinion. The guy fucking created a department of faith. He meets this one. Who made this definition? By the way, is she politically biased? It's made by a fucking fascist expert, Dr. Lawrence Britt. Holy fuck, dude. Anybody who disagrees with you must be just like bought out media, right? This guy fucking studied Hitler, Mussolini, Francisco Franco. So, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're so fucked. Corporate power is protected. The industrial and business elite are often the ones who put the government leaders into power, creating a mutually beneficial relationship. He literally has Elon Musk in power. You can't deny this one. Labor power is suppressed. Labor unions are eliminated or severely suppressed. He's the most anti-union president in American history. Disdain for intellectuals and the arts. Open hostility to higher education and the arts as comedy. He's always shitting on fucking college. Academic freedom and expression are often restricted. We already see academic freedom and expression are restricted with the way that they're attacking Columbia University protests. Obsession with crime and punishment. The police are given almost limitless power to enforce laws. There's often a belief that civil liberties hinder law enforcement. Rampant cronyism and corruption. Fascist regimes often are governed by groups of friends and associates who use governmental power and authority to protect their own interests. Fraudulent elections. Elections may be a sham. They often include manipulated voting, intimidation, or rigged outcomes to maintain the illusion of democracy. So in my eyes, Donald Trump meets 13 of these 14 fucking keys to fascism. He meets all the criteria. If this is fascism, then this sounds great. Trump will save the nation, MAGA forever. This is what you're up against, guys. You're up against idiots. Dangerous idiots. Very, very dangerous idiots. It's remarkable. Idiot here with a master's in education. What do you mean? You mean you're a master's of education and you support Donald Trump? You have a master's in education and you support Trump? Absolutely. Do you support defunding the Department of Education? %1,000%. That's interesting. Are you really rich, Kyle? Nope. Really? You promise, Kyle? Educators are not rich. Some people are. I have a question for you, Kyle. You got a master's in education. Would you agree that it costs a lot of money to educate a disabled child? Absolutely does. Okay. Do you think that the government should help its people when it comes to educating a disabled child, considering it costs a lot of money? Kyle? Kyle? Come on, Kyle. Come on, Kyle. Tell me. Kyle. I answered. It didn't pop. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Completely agree with that, but I believe the DEO took advantage of funding to push propaganda. Whatever. Listen, I'm just asking you a couple of questions. If we want to talk about something else, we'll talk about something else. But, so you agree that the government should be helping parents of disabled children pay for their education. You agree there? Yes? Okay. Do you support Trump's cuts to the Department of Education that defunded funding for disabled children? Do you support that decision? Because he did that. Bring that up. I haven't seen it. Sure. Here you go. Teens with disabilities were getting help with life after high school, then Doge started cutting. This is just one example. Charting my path for future success aimed to fill a major gap in education research about what kinds of support give students nearing graduation the best shot at living independently, finding work, or continuing their studies. Students with disabilities finish college at a much lower rate than their non-disabled peers and often struggle to tap into state employment programs for adults with disabilities. Let me get to the point where he cut it. Here we go. Charting my path was among more than 200 Education Department contracts and grants terminated over the last 2 weeks by the Trump administration's U.S. Doge service. Doge has slashed spending it deemed to be wasteful, fraudulent, or in the service of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility goals that President Donald Trump has sought to ban. But yeah, so like charting my path is involved training teachers in new methods, testing learning methods in actual classrooms, helping school systems use data more. Like, do you support this? Marquis detected? How? Where? Where do you see Marquis again? Gecko, please be more intelligent than that and attack policy, not me. But Kyle, like, do you support this? Like, defunding this program? And that's just one, bro. That's just fucking one. Dude, they just cut... Dude, how about this? How about this? Do you know what Meals on Wheels is, Kyle? I mean, you got a master's in education. Patreon drop is prepped. Thank you, Avi. I'm gonna end this live very soon. This is my last bit. Kyle, do you know what Meals on Wheels is? Thank you, Avi. Appreciate that you're being cordial with me. Yeah, well, I mean, there's some people who you just can't be cordial with. People come in here and like, who are like proud to be Nazis and shit like that. But I haven't gotten anything like that from you. But Kyle, do you know what Meals on Wheels is? I feel like Meals on Wheels is a program that sends, I believe they're responsible for something like 300 million meals provided to the elderly who don't have, like they don't have family that they can rely on, or a community that can bring them their meals, or they're just old as shit, or they're physically disabled. They just can't feed themselves. Meals on Wheels is a government. Have Doge cut anything bad though? Hold on. Meals on Wheels is a program that has provided over 300 million meals to our elderly. It's wildly important. You guys, so my question is this. Kyle, Doge just destroyed Meals on Wheels. It's gone. The entire program has been destroyed. So Kyle, my question is this. Do you support Trump's decision to destroy the Meals on Wheels program? I'm going to wait, Kyle. It's unconstitutional, though. Dude, Donald Trump doesn't care about the Constitution. He tried to overturn birthright citizenship. That was unconstitutional. He's trying to overturn the 22nd Amendment. That's unconstitutional. He's trying to overturn the 12th Amendment. That's unconstitutional. He deported people without due process. That's unconstitutional. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He doesn't care. When are you going to realize this? What happened to Kyle? The fuck happened to Kyle? I was on a roll there. I felt like I was making progress with him. He's out kissing boys. Sorry, I was kissing him. Jack, you prove you're... Dude, take a joke, Kyle. Come on, dude. It's a fucking joke. But, Jag, do you support... not defunding. Do you support eliminating the Meals on Wheels program? Why won't you answer, Kyle? You answered earlier. Kyle, why won't you answer me, but you'll answer the chat? I'm talking to you, Kyle Thunberg. Do you support eliminating the Meals on Wheels program? Do you have to support eliminating Meals on Wheels programs to support Trump? No, I'm trying to see if people are capable of criticizing Trump. I've responded to everyone ace, including the host. Kyle, you haven't responded to this. You have not responded. Do you support eliminating the Meals on Wheels program? That's Doge, though, not Trump. The only reason Doge exists is because Donald Trump gave Elon Musk executive power. Yes or no to what? Kyle, I'm gonna ask you one more time. If you keep gaslighting me, I'm gonna put you in the corner for a couple of minutes. Kyle, yes or no? Do you support eliminating the Meals on Wheels program? He's stepping down, though, now. No, he's supposed to step down at the end of May, but he may not. We don't know. That's in the future. It's happening in May. At the end of May, Elon Musk can no longer have executive power unless Trump extends it. What's the question? I didn't answer. All right, Jack, permaban him. Bye, Kyle. We voted for Trump, therefore we voted for Elon to step in. No, you didn't. We liked what he did with X and want to see if he can get that done with the government. Gabriel, no, you didn't. Donald Trump never said once during the campaign trail that he was going to give Elon Musk executive power. There's no need for you to lie to yourself. You did not vote for Elon Musk to step in. At all. There's no need for you to lie to yourself. You can be okay with him having power now if you'd like, but there's no need for you to lie to yourself and say that you voted for Trump, therefore you also voted for Elon. You didn't. You voted for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Elon Musk was not on the ticket. You didn't have to say he was going to give him executive power. We knew Elon was involved, therefore we knew what to expect. No, you didn't. Why are you pretending like you knew Elon Musk was going to create Doge? Why are you pretending like you knew that Donald Trump would give him executive power? Why are you pretending like you knew Elon Musk would be in wartime meetings? Why are you doing this? This is very strange. Why are you calling me a liar when I'm being honest with you? You are not being honest. You are lying. You are very confidently lying. Nobody knew this. How can you tell me what I am doing when the words coming from my mind and my honesty? Because I live in reality. Nobody knew that Doge was going to be created, including you. You are not clairvoyant. You are not privy to some secret information. You're not in the fucking White House press briefing room. Nobody knew that Elon Musk was going to be granted executive power and create the Department of Government Efficiency. You did not know this. Dodge is great for the economy. More meant gets to us over time. Holy fuck. What does that mean? We didn't have to know all the specifics. Elon was side by side with Trump. The last few months of the election, we voted. Yeah, you did not vote for Elon Musk. You voted for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Elon Musk got executive power. I don't know why you're just... Like, I'll never understand why you fucking guys dick ride Elon Musk so much. It's so strange. I understand dick riding Trump. He's the fucking president. I don't understand dick riding Musk. It's very strange to me, dude. I'm sorry. I voted for Donald Trump to surround himself with the right people to get us out of a mess. Oh yeah, we're really out of the mess. Oh, yeah. Really out of the mess. Now watch as he says, this is all part of the plan. Watch as he says, this is all part of the plan. Printed $14 trillion from 2020 to 2024. What kind of impact did you expect that to have on the economy? Oh, no, this isn't from last year. You can look. See... Trump had his speech, and then bang. This has nothing to do with what happened over the last couple of years. Trump had his speech on April 2nd, and then bang. Direct response from Trump's tariff plans. This has nothing to do with decisions made in the past 5 years. I don't know why you're pretending it did. Do you even know what trickle-down economics is? Bro, this guy... you think trickle-down economics works? This is all part of the plan, you socialist. That's a bit. That's a troll. Do you actually think trickle-down economics works? Yes, it's been proven. Okay, that's a troll. That's a troll. That has to be a troll. That's a troll. That's a troll. It's got to be. Yeah, Geeks on Grid, that's called a temporarily embarrassed billionaire. Damn you, Ronald Reagan, you son of a bitch. Again, how has it been proven? He's trolling. He's trolling. I'm a troll, bro. You're the woke guy wanting trans operations on kids. Got it. Yeah, that's a troll. That guy's not serious. People aren't that... I mean, some people are that stupid. I don't think this guy's actually that stupid. I think he's pretending to be. I love your content, but if you dispute that printing $14 trillion inside of 4 years will not create an inflationary environment, I have to challenge your knowledge of economics. Dude, the chart is in front of you. It's right here. Did the $14 trillion not exist throughout this whole time period? Because it fucking did. And the economy wasn't doing the best, but it wasn't crashing. Donald Trump imposes his tariff policy here, April 2nd. And the day after, the market crashed more than it did in the past 5 years. Everything's computer! What the fuck, dude? You're seeing it in front of your own lying eyes. You're looking at it. We printed 40% of all of our American dollars ever created inside of 4 years in order to hedge inflation, which must suck out money of the economy. We must suck money out of it. So you're admitting that Trump is intentionally crashing the economy, Gabriel? Because you're saying we must suck money out of the economy. You're admitting that Trump is purposefully crashing the American economy. Noah said, I want America first, good economy, but sorry, I'm just a troll. Doge is doing great, bro. Like, I know you want a socialist government, but geez. Wait, are you not trolling? Are you not a troll? Do you think trickle-down economics is real and that I want, like, kids to get trans operations? That was serious? You were serious? Why is trickle-down economics bad, bro? Wait, first, Gabriel said, I can't speak for Trump. What I do know is in order to hedge inflation, we must raise the interest rates, raise unemployment. Okay, so you're okay with raising unemployment rates and raising inflation rates and just destroying the U.S. economy. I'm not. That's our intellectual difference. Noah said, why is trickle-down economics bad, bro? Explain. It has never worked in history. Not American history, in human history. Why is that? It's because human beings are naturally greedy and selfish. Trickle-down economics relies on the wealthy, the rich who are making all of this money, being willing to increase the wages of their workers and let the wealth trickle down rather than hoarding it. Never once in American history has that worked. $5 from Lunatic. Thank you for the $5. Why don't you scroll back to the 11 crashes during Biden's transitionary bullshit and then make your statement again? So here's the past 5 years of the economy. Pretty damn good under Joe Biden. It's right here. And then here's the past 5 days under Trump. There. I did what you asked. You feel stupid yet? Oh, I didn't have the shared screen. Sorry, guys. Here's the economy over the past 5 years under Joe Biden. Here's the past 5 days under Trump. Here's the past month under Trump. Here's the past 6 months under Trump. Here's the past year. So, yeah. Dude, sorry. Like, facts don't care about your fucking feelings, dude. Donald Trump crashed the U.S. economy. Bitch, moan, cope, seethe, mold. I don't care. The middle classes and the upper classes have all the money. This is unfortunate, and it's squeezing out the poor. But so long as the middle class is still buying, prices will continue to go up. Yeah. That chart means nothing. Yes, because anything that makes the Fuhrer look bad means nothing to you. And you wonder why we say you're in a cult. This chart means nothing. It's the fucking NASDAQ. This is the fucking NASDAQ. Oh, it means nothing. Does the Dow mean nothing? Does the S&P mean nothing? Do these really mean nothing to you? Do these really mean nothing to you? Also, the border was terrible under Kamala Harris. The reason I say Kamala is she was going to be the border czar, but somehow let 15,000 people in a day. Yeah, no, the Biden administration had an insane border policy, which was that people could come into the United States illegally, and then once they're here illegally, they can file for asylum and wait for their court date here in the United States. I don't like that policy. I don't like Kamala Harris, okay? I think that what we need to do is reinforce the border, expedite the legal migration process, have a remain in Mexico policy where if you're waiting for your court date for asylum, you have to wait in Mexico. But I don't believe in rounding up 20 million undocumented immigrants and just fucking shipping them off. I believe that we give them pathways to citizenship so that they can become tax-paying citizens and boost our economy. That's what I think. But you voted for her, LMAO, like, pick a side. Yes, I didn't think Kamala Harris was a good candidate, but I did think she was better than Donald Trump. I did. And I still do. I would much prefer to be living under the Harris administration than the Trump regime. Tariffs will bring companies to the U.S. They will not. We have had tariffs on these nations for many, many decades, and none of these companies have returned to the United States. On top of that, even if you were right and they did return to the United States, it will take at least a year and a half for these manufacturing industries to build factories, hire workers, and begin production. This is not Civilization 3 or Age of Empires. You don't just build a factory overnight. That's not how life operates. So even if you were correct, you are still going to have to live under 6 to 18 months of economic misery. Chris, scroll up and read my comment. I just asked my dad his opinion. He said, it's great. The only people it's bad for is people retiring right now or living off a stock interest. But if I buy now, it'll be great when I retire. Oh, dear God. Isn't your dad old? Isn't your dad living off, like, or not living, isn't he going to rely on Social Security and shit like this? NASDAQ is dropping because leftards are screaming doomsday, causing it to drop. You can't be that stupid. You think the economy is crashing because liberals are angry and not because Donald Trump has imposed the largest tariffs in human history? We are the largest tariffs. Sorry. We are imposing the largest tariffs out of any other nation. Can you turn your microphone volume up? Sure, a little bit. Why is Trump putting tariffs on everybody? Because I think he's got like some weird obsession with the late 1800s. Like he's weirdly obsessed with William McKinley, who used a lot of tariffs. He wants to bring back the Gilded Age, you know, when the 1% were making a fuckload of money. And just like the people in the chat, he believes in trickle-down economics. I don't know. I think that he's purposefully trying to crash the economy so that he and the wealthy, the oligarchs, the billionaires, can all gobble up every sector of the economy while the stocks are low, and then artificially boost it back up so they have effective control over the entire U.S. economy. Billionaires like Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all those people, they'll never feel the brunt of this. They don't go to the grocery store. They don't fucking buy eggs. Billionaires will not feel the brunt of an economic depression, but they will be able to afford to gobble up every last sector once the prices are low. answer the question. What was your question, Noah? But again, you don't care about people getting unalived because you're part of the Harris Waltz Union. What do you mean I don't care about people getting unalived? What are you talking about? And this isn't TikTok. You can say killed. What are you talking about? What? This chat is full of boy kissers. Lake and Riley, many others. Dude, what happened to Lake and Riley is miserable. It was awful. It doesn't mean that every undocumented immigrant is responsible for that man's crime. What happened to Lake and Riley was fucking heinous. But, you know, for example, most mass shooters are white Christian men. I don't think that all white Christian men are going to be mass shooters. Then explain how tariff... Oh, thank you for the $5 again, lunatic. Then explain how tariffs are dropping the economy when the tariffs aren't even implemented yet. They have been implemented. I don't know who told you that they haven't been, but they have been implemented. The man who prefers to argue with morons should first start by looking in the mirror. I like that. That's actually a good one. So you voted for the person responsible for the border at that time. Make it make sense. Yes, because Donald Trump is a fascist. I could not, in good conscience, vote for a fascist. So I voted for the only other option. It is not my fault that we live in a two-party system. I wish that there were 8 other options, 10 people to choose from, and then I wouldn't have had to choose Kamala Harris. But unfortunately, we live in a two-party system. You voted for authoritarianism and judicial tyranny. No, I didn't. I did not vote for Donald Trump. Exactly, my friend, and that's why we voted for Trump. We could not vote for Biden once again. Biden wasn't on the ticket. I don't know why you're pretending that. Are you still banned on TikTok main account? Yes. That's my point. Yeah. Trump is an authoritarian. He's trying to destroy due process. He hates the judicial system. That's why I couldn't vote for him. Yes, you're right. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. I don't know why you're fucking tweaking out. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Got banned on TikTok? Yeah, I've been perma-banned on TikTok 6 times. Do you think humans are more important than money? Of course. Human life is far more valuable than wealth. I miss who you used to be, my friend. You were a happy man. You overcame a lot. You shared a lot of positive information. I still am. I'm a very happy man. I mean, granted, it's hard to be happy when fascism is taking over. But I have overcome a lot. I do share a lot of positive information. Chris, take a moment to sip some H2O. Arguing with the wall seems strenuous. I'm fairly certain half of them are trolling or mentally ill. Thank you, Gecko, for reminding me to have some water. Thank you for the $5, Gecko. Appreciate that. How angry do people have to be to ban you 6 whole times, dude? It's not about anger. It's that I am one of the few people who could see through the bullshit of the Trump regime, and I use my platform to try and spread that message and warn people and get people to understand what is coming. And because of that, they have to silence me because they know that people already know I'm smart. They already trusted me for historical knowledge, so why wouldn't they trust me for political knowledge? But you voted for the person who was responsible for a death of a little girl. Got it, buddy. Just wrap it up. What? You think Kamala Harris was responsible for Laken Riley's death? Not. You don't think the man who killed Laken Riley is responsible for his death. You think Kamala Harris is responsible for her death. That's insane, dude. That's insane. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. Democrats want him to stay here. Do you think Democrats knew that he was going to do that? What? By proxy, she was in charge of the border at the time. Okay, so then Donald Trump was responsible for January 6th because he was responsible for the entire nation. Do you understand how this doesn't make sense? Being in charge of something does not make you responsible for every single individual that practices free will. This is insane. That is insane. That's not logical. That doesn't make any, that's illogical. Being an expert in history does not necessarily mean you're an expert in politics or economics. To think so is folly. Brother, I'm not an expert in anything. I have a bachelor's degree with a major in history and a minor in political science. I have never pretended to be a fucking expert in anything. How did the illegal get over the border, Chris Buddy? Dude, I think you might have a mental disability. Him coming over the border illegally, bad. The crime that he committed is his responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the woman who was in charge of the southern border. That is an insane jump to make. Hi, Luigi. Hi, Luigi. He wouldn't have been there to commit the crime if she did her job. Dude, people commit crimes daily. Every day. U.S. citizens commit far more crimes than undocumented immigrants. We don't hold the president responsible for all of those crimes because they're in charge. Therefore, every crime that is committed is under their control. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up because I do want to go. I got to make some food. I'm going to wrap this up. What happened to Lake and Riley was heinous and inexcusable. But the only person at fault is the man who committed the crime. Simply because he's an undocumented immigrant does not mean all undocumented immigrants are like that man. If you think that, you are unironically very, very stupid. If you think all undocumented immigrants are going to commit the same crime that guy did, you're a stupid person. You're intellectually dishonest, my friend. No, I'm the only person here who is honest. He's trolling. Humans aren't this stupid unless it's deliberate. No, Matt, they are this stupid. Illegal immigrants are here illegally? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you fucking dipshit. Lake and Raleigh would be alive now if the border was better? No, dude, that's not how that works. Lake and Raleigh would be alive if that man didn't kill her. There would still be undocumented immigrants here. There'd still be criminals out there. 199. Thank you, Ali Staten. Chris is actually super sick. Everything's computer. Yeah, I made a Valenti VOD. I gotta make the thumbnail and post it. But I'm gonna end the live. How intelligent can you be with such a limited vocabulary? I'm sorry, dude. Your name's Billy Bob. I'm gonna have to just reject that. He wouldn't have killed her if his butt had never been here in the first place. Listen, I can't break through this level of stupidity. It's not something I can do. But I'll say one last thing. 95% of all mass shooters are white Christian men. We don't blame all white Christian men for mass shootings. Why? Because we understand that's an insane leap to make. If you're capable of making that leap for undocumented immigrants, it is simply a sign of your stupidity. That's all it is. That is all it is. You're stupid pie, though. Copy that, Noah. You were good at name calling? Thank you, Billy Bob. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Costs you nothing. Helps me out immensely. If you do want to help the channel out financially, because this is actual independent media, I've got no funding. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a billionaire or a foreign government. If you do want to help me out financially, there's a couple ways you could do that. You could donate money here on the live stream, and you can use super chats in the comment section of my videos. You can become a patron on Patreon and get access to our new Patreon-only video that's coming out tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can become a member here on YouTube to get early access to these videos, and you can use the 40% off discount to get the Vantage subscription for Ground News down in the description. Oh, and of course, you could buy some of this dope-ass merch. You could always buy some of this dope-ass merch. But I'm out of here, guys. I got stuff to do. Political view, what is it? I'm a democratic socialist. I am out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Go kiss some boys. Have a good one, folks.